Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So if we take a quick look at CoinMarketCap, right, we can see that we are trading at roughly $2.73 trillion in market cap for the entire crypto space. You know how crazy that actually is? It's crazy because this is what crypto is valued at right now. Just for reference, this is all of the world's money and markets in one visualization. Now, this goes all the way back to 2022. I tried to find the up-to-date, version, but, just for the sake of this video, let's use this 2022 version. These numbers are actually a lot higher now, which is also something to keep in mind. But let's actually look at the value of some of these markets, okay? So crypto is at almost $3 trillion. It hit a peak of $2.82 trillion in November. I believe it actually hit over $3 trillion. I remember it hitting over $3 trillion. But that is the peak here. Just for an example, Russia versus Ukraine GDP, we could see the growth here. Again, every single block here represents $100 billion. Okay. So here we have billions and billions of dollars, 1.8 trillion, 0.2 trillion. So, roughly $2 trillion here. Military spending, 2.1 trillion in 2021. Coins and banknotes, $8 trillion. Gold, $11.5 trillion. The world's billionaires, $12.7 trillion. Central bank balance sheets. Again, we're at over like $28 trillion. S&P 500, $36 trillion. US versus China GDP, 23 trillion and 17.7 trillion. The global money supply, 48.9 trillion. Again, all of these numbers increased significantly. 82.6 trillion for the M2 broad money, M1 48.9 trillion. Stock markets. Guys, you have trillions and trillions of dollars. It's like roughly $100 trillion here. Global debt, 300 trillion. Ballooning debt. Again, you can see how significant the debt actually has increased here. But outside of that, global real estate, 326 trillion. Down here, we have a few other breakdowns of some of the real estate out there. The household wealth, $463 trillion. We also have down here derivatives. The actual value is like 12.4 trillion, but the notional value is upwards of $600 trillion. Guys, when we think about how big the money supply actually is out there compared to where crypto is even today, it is absolutely laughable. Now, why do I bring this up? Why am I talking about this? Well, it's because of tokenization. There is quadrillions of dollars that have yet to actually be tokenized. 170 billion roughly has been tokenized so far. We still have massive amounts of money to actually be touched when it comes to tokenization. Now, big shout out to Panos over on X because he put out this post back in January. And I want to bring this up for anyone out there that actually doesn't understand how big of a deal XRP actually is. The ledger was literally created to disintermediate banks, a better alternative to Bitcoin without mining and validation incentives, faster, cheaper, decentralized money, also more advanced with the first DEX tokenization and payment features, the OG DeFi chain. And yes, XRP was initially created as that big piece of finance to ultimately revolutionize the way that money works, how money's moved, the way that, you can work with money. And I mean like lending, borrowing, or anything around DeFi. XRP is an absolute OG, and it's at a higher level than Bitcoin. It always has been. Now, again, I bring this back up because let's go back in time a little bit, okay? Because XRP was one of the first major OGs around tokenization. Big shout to Mr. Man XRP because we have here, never forget, Archix CEO Graham Rodford said that there could be $30 to $50 trillion trading through Archix, which utilizes the XRP ledger if organizations like Euroclear, Clearstream, or the DTCC flip the switch. So are you suggesting or clearly stating that Euroclear, DTCC, and Clearstream are working with Ripple and utilizing the XRP ledger for tokenized assets? The news simply hasn't come out yet. And I completely agree with this statement because, again, This goes all the way back to roughly like last year when we heard this. Listen to this.
30 to 50 trillion, all on XRP, all trading on Artex.
Here we go.
Find my original projections, but the total market is 1.4 quadrillion, everything that's ever out there. And if you start looking across any of those asset classes, they're all starting to move on chain already. And the ease with which we've seen people interested in money market fund, tokenized treasuries, and those types of instruments, the support for stablecoins, when you're talking about replacing cash, when I see DTCC, Euroclear, Clearstream, it only takes one of them to flip onto natively digital, and that's trillions of assets on its own that move. So, tens of trillions, I think we could see. And bearing in mind it's 1.4 quadrillion, this is still a tiny slice of a huge market. 30 to 50 trillion, all on XRP, all trading on Artex.
Here we go. $50 trillion. 2 years from now, Ripple, Twitter will replay the session.
30.
Now, even today, when we think about $30 to $50 trillion on chain, a lot of people don't actually understand how significant this would be for the value on the actual network and what it would mean for the underlying asset that does cover that network. In this case, XRP and the XRPL. Now, over here, we have a collaborative vision for the future. This is with Artex. This collaboration underscores the XRP Ledger's credentials as a leading blockchain for RWA tokenization, and making it a compelling choice for financial institutions looking to embrace the benefits of decentralized finance. Remember what Ripple said. They said that the XRPL is becoming the institutional choice for tokenization. Now, I bring all of this up because of this video here from David Schwartz, the Ripple CTO. And this got posted by Andrew over on X. And we have XRP is the quote currency of the XRP ledger. This is made possible by the auto bridge feature. The XRP ledger itself seeks XRP liquidity first before it chooses the path funding method. Each transaction costs XRP for gas. This means the more tokenized assets on the chain and the higher amounts of volume equals more fees and revenue generated by the blockchain. So the liquidity pools quoted to XRP are favored by the blockchain. This is the core demand to invest in XRP. Check this out.
I think that like having a high quality stablecoin both on the XRP ledger and in other places, on the XRP ledger, we think it'll turbocharge some of those DeFi use cases like lending real world assets. Like if you sell a real world asset, you don't want to have the hot potato out of a digital asset because you didn't want the, if you want the exposure to digital asset, that's great. But we want people who don't want exposure to digital assets to be able to participate in these DeFi ecosystems so they can grow as well. And it's not a pivot away from XRP because the XRP is the XRP ledger's like native token. It's its gas token. It's what you pay transaction fees with. And the XRP ledger has features like auto bridging that kind of put XRP in a central role, providing liquidity between other assets. And so the more other assets there are, the more opportunities there are for XRP to bridge between those assets. I think that like having a high.
And when we think about this utility aspect, right, and we hear these talks about 50 trillion or 30 trillion on the XRPL, or you hear the talks about quadrillions of dollars moving on chain. Think about what size, right? Like what size market this market will eventually reach. Like, are we comparing the size of crypto to, we'll say the world's gold, right? 11.5 trillion. A lot of people think that that's where the market will top at. World's billionaires, 12.7 trillion. Like, how big will crypto eventually be? Because I don't think that this market's ever going to reach a top. I think that it's going to continue to grow and expand rapidly, especially as everything out there that does have value is moving on chain. The upside potential for the crypto market itself is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive because of how large every other asset class actually is. Crypto is so early compared to these other markets. Now, when we think about the XRPL and XRP being like the main driver around tokenization, because again, we already know how many institutions are tied back to Ripple and XRP. And if XRP does grasp, say for so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 trillion dollars, like we're hearing from Graham Rodford, think about what value XRP actually will have tied to it. We've always talked about $100 XRP. I think that that's exactly where, XRP really kind of gets those price predictions from. Is just the absolute massive utility that it actually has. And to a lot of people, they don't see how XRP could hit $100. This is exactly how. This is how XRP gets to those massive prices that everyone has been shilling for years. I don't really talk about how XRP can get to like $100 all the time. I've said that it's definitely possible. And the thing is, and the way that we actually get there, it is through utility. Utility is the biggest driver of everything around the space. I know that it's not yet, but utility will eventually take over. And at that point in time, you better have been focused on projects like XRP that has this underlying mechanism built in. The efficiencies are there. It's one of the original projects that was focused on tokenization, payments, DeFi. It had the first ever DEX. This is why XRP is being adopted at scale now. And you might say, well, Nick, it's not being utilized at scale yet. And yeah, it's not, but the adoption, you could see the adoption, you could see these institutions, you could see these big players preparing to go live with it. All we're waiting for is regulations. And also remember that Monica Long recently explained to us and even told us that Ripple Custody, their banking partners, are utilizing their services for tokenization of RWAs right now and advising them on their go-to-market strategy. She mentions the payments business to continue being the core of all financial services on chain. But when we hear these talks from Monica Long, and then we think about what David Schwartz just told us, now everything starts to become very clear. But check this out.
So yes, there's the opportunities there, and it's coming together. I would say the other thing that I get excited about when we talk to our bank customers who are using custody, they really want us to be their partner or advisor in thinking about our real world asset tokenization.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the buzziest thing right now. But all those use cases, I mean, payments is really foundational to any kind of if you're going to be trading tokens, purchasing all of it, you need that infrastructure to create liquidity and then also settlement to move the assets, from account to account. So I think that things that we have built in payments are very foundational for many different use cases that an FI would venture upon.
And the network around Ripple is all institutional players, all big players. And when we think about that, right? And we think about all of these big banks telling us like, oh, the future is tokenization. The future is tokenization. We even hear this from, BlackRock. Oh, we got to tokenize now. We got to tokenize now. I wish the SEC would completely flip on tokenization. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Take a step back real quick and actually think about that for a second. So Ripple is utilizing the XRP ledger, which was, one of the first ever DEXs, one of the first major ledgers that were actually focused on tokenization. And they're meeting with all these big institutional players, all these big banks at the same exact time that now, fast forward a few years, every single bank and almost all of the big banks that they were in discussion with, they're all talking about one thing. And it starts with a T, and it's tokenization. And we just heard from David Schwartz that, we hear these discussions on tokenization and what tokenization of assets actually means for the XRPL and XRP. Well, tokenized assets are not just going to live on chain doing absolutely nothing. They're going to be traded. They're going to be sold, bought, swapped, thrown into yield generating pools. When we think about what this means for the actual network and XRP, it means significantly higher values. It means significantly higher, TVL. XRP and the XRPL could soon become the most expensive chain in this space, and XRP could be significantly higher in value from where it is now, and I wouldn't be surprised if XRP was worth trillions of dollars in market cap because of the total addressable market that we have in front of us right now. So with that being said, if you guys did enjoy this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.